Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Velotio Tech Shorts. I am Bharat Barve, working as a product manager at Velotio. Today's session may not be purely technical, but hopefully it will help you in getting into a different mindset as an engineer. How engineers can think like PMs, the Codex framework. Let's do this. Here's a brief outline of what to expect. We'll first begin with why, like all the projects begin with a why. The house party analogy, Codex framework, the winning formula, and few of my parting thoughts. All right. Why are we doing this? We are doing this essentially to build customer centric products. We are also doing this to understand the difference between a good engineer versus a great engineer. We are also doing this to understand in doing what is needed versus suggesting workarounds. Let me give you an example. Consider you're having a house party. You have guests coming over. Your mom decides to cook a delicious meal. There are two scenarios. In scenario one, she hands over a list of items she needs you to get from the market. Now, you being a resourceful person, she doesn't tell you from where to get those items. Instead of the mall, you go to the local market and get the things from her list. You got them in a cheaper way. You got them quicker. She is happy. She cooks the meal. Your guests love it, and you have a great house party. Here's another scenario. Your mom hands over a list of items she needs you to get from the market. Now, you know what your mom is cooking. So you suggest a couple of changes. Changes in terms of marination or a different blend of spices. Your mom loves the idea. So along with the original list, you also get the add-ons. She's delighted. She cooks the same meal in a different way. Your guests love it, and you have a kick ass house party. This is the exact difference between a good engineer and a great engineer. Good engineers know what needs to be done, and they do it in their own efficient way. But great engineers know the bigger business goal, and hence they always come up with ideas or different suggestions of doing things in a different way. Let me introduce you to the Codex framework. Now, before we begin, this is not coming from any textbook. This is not coming from any MBA program. Also, this is not coming from any certification. This is from working with different set of engineers in the past few years. This is purely based on my experience working with the engineers. Codex framework essentially is a set of five principles or values. C for communication, O for OKRs, which are focused on business, D, data driven mindset, E for empathy, and X for UX. Let's look into each of those in detail. Communication. The best ever email that has been written in the past few years was not written by a manager or a business person. It was written by a technical lead I was working with. There was a product outage and we were facing some issues technically. We overcame those eventually. The tech lead came up proactively that she'll write an email with a summary of what happened and what we can do in the future to avoid it. The best part about that email was it was written from the point of view of the business stakeholders and not from the technical point of view. The way she explained everything in layman terms was exquisite. Communication helps a long way when you can do that efficiently. What she also did was she used to mentor others within the team so that eventually they were able to communicate well with the business. OKRs, objectives and key results, focused on business. This aligns with the example I shared earlier, where the engineers know what is the team working towards, what are the business goals, and eventually they can come up with ideas to do things in a different way. You know the business goals the team is working towards. That's when you can come up with suggestions of doing things differently. And eventually, you're also making informed decisions. Data driven mindset. Let me share another example. We were working on enhancing an email template for the users. We were discussing all the designs in the product meeting. One of the UI developers asked us like, why we were doing all of this. He wanted to understand the basic why. We thought we were building it to enhance the experience. Later, he shared that the current email that we sent out, the open rate for those emails is quite less. We So why was the basic reason we were enhancing something which were not being used to that level? We got back to the drawing board and eventually decided to descope the feature. The feature lives happily in the product backlog even today. Understanding business, understanding users, understanding the product team goes a long way. Eventually, we are building the product for the people, with the people we are working with together. Empathy goes a long way in professional as well as personal lives. User experience. Let me share another example. This time, we were building a code enforcement product where we wanted to plot the tickets, the code enforcement tickets on a map view. Now I'm talking about thousands of tickets that needed to be shown at once on the map. There were two goals. From business point of view, it was very important that we show all of these tickets together on the map. From technical standpoint, it was important that we optimize for the page load time. We were figuring out ways on one of the product meetings. UI developer came with a suggestion that we can use the clustered views. He explained how each pin can be grouped together in different clusters. And the more you zoom in, the more we show the pins. So when you're zoomed out, you are seeing the clusters. That means you're not loading the ticket data all at once, and you're only loading a group of it when you're zooming at a particular place. This served the business goal, and it was efficient from the technical standpoint too. Everyone loved it. This is what helps when you put a technical perspective to the UX that is being built for the product. The winning formula is simple. You may notice I've put in the Codex framework in the beginning because this is the mindset that we need to get into first, even before we start coding. Once we get into that mindset and we link it with our super awesome code, that's when the kick-ass party that's waiting for us. A growth mindset. We grow when the product grows and vice versa. As a technical person, we always have to keep ourselves updated with the latest trends in the technology. Growth mindset consists of upgrading our skills, upgrading our technical expertise every once in a while. It also means mentoring others in the team. We as a fresher, eh, imparting the knowledge that we as a fresher couldn't get. This is exactly that time to impart to the newcomers in the team. This also means adaptability to changes. And lastly, we are always on the lookout for super awesome folks to join our teams. Please do visit our careers page to know more and let me know if I can help with any roles. Thank you. I hope you found this insightful. Please let me know your feedback and if you had any experiences in the comments below. Also, do subscribe to our channel to know more on such topics. This is Bharat Barve signing off. Cheers.